Hey YouTube, it's the Audiolympian back with another video coming to you from Audiolympia, where the world meets through music, movies, and speakers. Okay, today's video, kind of interesting one. I wanted to share a little bit of information and a couple of discs with you guys, some DVD discs, about tuning up your system and how often should we be calibrating and tuning our systems, right? So stick around, we'll get into that video in a minute. If this is your first time visiting my channel, I want to welcome you. Thanks for stopping by. I'd appreciate if you get anything out of this video or you find it educational or even just a little bit helpful, if you could give me that big thumbs up. That would really help our channel. Okay, so if you've been following my channel, you know recently I've been trying to make a lot of changes to my room. Working on the big three areas that are really going to help maximize your full potential of your system. And that is sound isolation, sound damping, and sound diffusion. So because I've been working on my room a lot lately, one of the things that I have been doing is tuning up and recalibrating my system a lot. So every time I make a change, even if it's a minuscule change, I'm recalibrating and tuning up my system. Do you have to do that? No, it's probably a little over the top, but I enjoy doing it and I like playing around with my system. So that's what I've been doing here for the past few weeks or so. And I got to tell you, each time I've done it, I have noticed a little bit. But of course, I'm really intently listening for something to notice different, right? And it could just be something as maybe a little bit sharper vocal, maybe a sound out of one of my rear speakers or my height channels is just becoming a little more present in the room. Not anything drastic where if an average person came in my room, listened, watched a movie, left, came back a week later, I tweaked it, listened, would they be able to tell that there was a change made? No, not that drastic, but enough that I would notice it. So in the process of recalibrating everything quite a bit here, it led me to think or kind of come to a conclusion of, well, how often should we be doing this with our systems? So I would recommend here for full recalibration of your system, maybe once a month, just to tweak anything that happens. And here's the reason why. From day to day, the power that comes into our house is different. We all know that our lines are dirty and they pick up interferences and interruptions as the power comes into the house. So what if on a day you were calibrating your system and for whatever reason in your neighborhood maybe there was just a lot more power usage going out through your neighborhood? Well, inadvertently that probably could affect your system and how it was calibrated that day. So you really don't know it. It's not, again, it's probably minuscule, but maybe you calibrate it again next month and you're like, wow, this sounds a lot more open, a lot more airy, a lot more dynamic, or my bass is a little bit thicker and heavier, right? You could find something out like that. Or you might find that it sounds exactly the same, so it's perfect how it is. So my recommendation off of that would be maybe calibrate once a month, maybe once every other month, depending on how much time you have. Next thing I want to talk about, and this is something a little bit I just kind of consider a half calibration, is what I call a tune-up. I would recommend you get some DVDs or some tune-up discs. Now, how often should you tune your system up? Now, tune-up is just a little bit of what I would consider like a half calibration. So something a little in between. I'm not getting really detailed and specific on all the nuances and nulls in my room, but I'm just making sure my right sound is going to the right speakers, left sound's going to the left side. And you know, front and back, my basses is hitting well, my subs are projecting properly, my vocals sound really good. And so what I use for those are demo discs, and I have a good tune-up disc I'm going to recommend for you guys. So first demo disc here is just going to be your basic Dolby Atmos disc here, and not just because it has demos on here, but you can see right here, down in the bottom in that right hand corner, I'll try and get a little bit closer, it has testing modes for you to be able to test your system up to 15 channels. And it's going to be accurate, true Dolby Atmos sound. Now you might be able to find a copy or a dupe of that on YouTube or a website somewhere, but chances are it might not be a full Dolby Atmos sound, which is giving you dedicated meta sound from all the speakers that you have hooked up in your system. It could be something that is upmixed, which is still fine. It's just not going to give you that true sound that you're looking for. Next disc I would recommend is any one of the DTS-X demo discs. And this is a 4K. It has DTS and DTS-X. So the 2018 version had a little bit a mix of both of those, DTS sound and DTS-X sound. There's a 2017, and then I actually have the 2019, which is all full DTS-X. Same thing here. This has a testing section for you to be able to, again, just test out and tune up your system. And not to mention, they have sample clips of movies. So if you're ever looking for or interested in a new series to watch or a new movie to get, maybe something that's a little bit older that you're unfamiliar with, or you've heard about these movies, but you've never seen them, it gives you samples and clips that might pique your interest in purchasing that movie and checking it out in your home theater. Last one I'm going to recommend here is the Disney Wow disc here. Now, unfortunately, it's only Blu-ray, and they haven't upgraded and made a 4K yet. However, this one is really, really cool, and it has a lot of tune-up tracks, audio, calibration, does sweeps in your room. It has a section where you could do room sweeps in here on your speakers from low hertz to very high kilohertz. Has a really cool section that allows you to, it's called a room rattle test. So it's just going to send out a heavy, deep bass signal for a pretty extended period of time, maybe 12 seconds or so, but it's going to allow you to be able to check to see if you have any rattles in your room on some areas that you might want to fill in, soften up, isolate a little bit. Could be just maybe your window pane is rattling if you got a window in your room. Could be a picture you have on the walls rattling a little bit, or it could even be your walls themselves rattling. So very cool disc here. It's got a lot of cool features and options for you, so I recommend you get it. And lastly, since these are relatively older discs here, and you're probably not going to find them in the stores anywhere, so you're going to want to go and search on eBay, maybe Amazon to purchase these. They're not very, very cheap. I want to say you might be able to find them anywhere between 30 to even 50 bucks. If you're on any Facebook groups, you might be able to find somebody willing to sell one in a Facebook group for you. But I would recommend getting some of these discs here, and there are a ton. I have so many discs all the way back from 2012. I think my first disc that I had that I used as a demo disc was from 2002, and it's just an original DVD, not even Blu-ray. But even since then, almost every year, DTS or Dolby Digital was coming out with some type of demo disc here, mostly for retailers. That way they could demo their systems in the stores for customers. But yeah, happy hunting. Go find some tune-up discs, you guys. Have some fun with your systems on a weekly basis. And then, like I said, maybe once a month, once every other month, do a full calibration in your room and system. You might notice something a little different, and it could make your system more pleasing to you. All right, that's about all I got for this video here, you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.